media and how the media portrays women as sexual objects and things that are meant for men to be in power. And I think that that is perpetuated through our society, and young boys are watching movies or on social media and seeing all these things and thinking it's okay for them to treat women however they want. And on the flip side, girls are growing up thinking that they can only be this stereotype of how a woman should look and act.
Well, I think that in the media and you know, in our jobs, that women are put into certain roles, are expected to be in certain places, and when they aren't, and they're trying to push into areas that they aren't generally part of, it's either women are stereotyped in particular ways, or they aren't given the same pay or the same opportunities in those jobs. And so I think that if we really are able to call ourselves a nation that supports equality and freedom, that we really need to have equality in our jobs.
I know one of the most common ones that we hear about right now is the wage gap, because a lot of women who have the same jobs as men are paid less for them. So I think that's an issue that a lot of us, especially at Encinal, are going to be facing soon after we graduate. So I think that's really important. Also, sexual assault is huge, and I know right now it's a big issue considering our political climate and everything. It's been called to attention.
Well, our current national government is definitely anti-women. They're rolling back women's rights, women's health rights, women's reproductive rights. Women still are paid less than men. The glass ceiling still exists. Women are kept out of the high levels of business and academia, primarily because of child rearing. Their time is discounted because they take time to have children.
So today is International Women's Day, and it is a right for women all around the world and in our country and locally to go out and talk about equity and equal rights.
I am proud of all of our students to make a political statement, and our teachers that get to go make a political statement. We are strong and we need our voices heard, and so I'm proud of everyone for doing that.
I was one of 4 lead organizers, and we're based out of the Student Justice Center and also leadership. So from the Student Justice Center, it was myself and Anicia Lustig-Ellison and Sarah Scott. And from leadership, it was Teshi Sakani, and she's also a part of the SJC.
My role primarily was planning it out and figuring out all the logistics. So it really just started in our 4th period classroom with me, Lily, and Anicia writing ideas on the whiteboard and just trying to pull the pieces together, getting leadership involvement and the involvement of all these teachers, women teachers, that were supporting us.
So part of my role was when they were trying to figure out what they wanted to do for the rally. Lily came to me and bounced some ideas off of me, and I kind of encouraged her that this was a good pursuit. And then when we met as teachers to figure out how we can help support the students, I offered to do the knit-in. So I had students come into my classroom on Monday and Tuesday and knit the hats that were circulating during the Women's March. So I taught maybe 20 students how to knit, and it was a real nice community experience that happened before the day that women didn't come to work and before the rally on Thursday.
I had almost no role, which was great, because the SJC students, the core of women from the SJC, took it and rolled with it, and all Miss Cassidy and I had to do was act as sort of a sounding board for their advice. They were amazing.
You know what, I think my role was really very tangential, because I know enough working with these 3 amazing women that when they need me, they'll call me in, and so I waited, and when they asked for some help, I would step in. But really what I did is kind of facilitate with questions to help them organize their ideas. And that's all I really did, is kind of help them clarify what they wanted.
I was really, really proud of Encinal to see how many people got involved, if it was just walking out and not taking a part during the Women's Day, or during the rally when we had all these student groups get involved. We had like more than enough people who wanted to speak and give their perspective and point of view, and people who wanted to volunteer and run the stations, and teachers who were encouraging their students to get involved in whatever way possible. And I was so shocked and honored to see how many people really, really wanted to be a part of this movement.
Well, I think what a lot of people misunderstand is they think feminism is about hating men and putting them down, but I think actually what we're trying to say is we want equal representation, equal rights. We want to be seen as just another average person, human being, because we're all people. And so this is to really address the problem of higher up political figures putting down other people for how they were born.
Well, our rights that we fought for a long time are being taken away or eroded. So I think women need to stand up and not let that happen.
Especially in education, where so many women are everything that we look to as far as teachers in a profession that's been dominated and sort of empowered by women. This is a very important day for us.
We support the advancement of women and all marginalized groups in our society, and I think the students really stepped up to that educational learning moment.
I think that it encourages girls and boys and anybody at the school to really take charge for what they want and to make things happen, and to know that there are teachers here that support us, who want us to keep going forward, and they also know that they have a voice in this school, and we're so fortunate here to have it, so we should use it.
The significance is the significance of the world. We live in a world where there are men and women, and we're understanding that it's more than men and women now, thanks to the trans movement. But in saying that, it's that you can't have a world with its full capacity without all of us having our full rights to expression and the ability to realize who we are.
And without women, none of us would really be here. So you have to think about that too, you know, because we're the ones who give birth, we're the ones who nurture, we're the ones who take care of our societies half the time. But from the back row, we want to be the front row, right? We want to be equal, and equality is the real big push here too.
My hope is that it'll raise awareness and people will realize that feminism is everybody's ism and it's non-negotiable.
I agree with her totally. There is no negotiation. We're all here in it together. We're all here for the best outcome, and it's a struggle, and the struggle's not gonna just end now. We gotta continue.
I was so impressed. It was one of my really proud moments here at Encinal High School. I thought our students just rose above and beyond.
When I saw like all the participation and the success of the rally, it really made me feel like hope, and like there was like we were really doing something good for our school community and setting an example for like all of Alameda.
You know, and I think I was, beyond being proud and impressed, I was humbled. Wait, stop. Oh my God, I'm getting emotional with you guys.
No, it's good.
No, oh my goodness. I'm getting like super emotional because I was so humbled that these young women like took such a leadership role and stepped up and did it and didn't wait for adults.
You know, I think different than other schools, I felt really supported in this district, and especially at Encinal. The fact that students wanted to know whether I was participating and what they could do to be involved really shows that this next generation has potential and that they're much more active than my apathetic generation is what it feels like as a millennial. And so it was nice to see that they didn't come to school in protest and in support with us, and then also to see many students of completely different walks of life being out on in the parking lot considering the Women's March was really important.
I want all the little girls out there to know that you are just as important, and just as beautiful as any other person out there, and anyone can accomplish anything as long as they put their mind to it.
I would advise for them to be themselves despite like what other people tell them, because I know a lot of young girls are told like, oh, you can't, you know, do sports or be into science or things like that. So just letting them know that they can do like really anything they want to do.
Believe in yourself and don't stop speaking up for yourself and others.
Definitely stand tall, move forward always, don't regress.
I think that they should pursue things that they want to pursue and to try things out that they aren't really sure about, that often we're put into particular roles. And by looking at all different opportunities, you're able to find the thing that really matters to you that might not be something that you initially thought you would. And that things are better than they were, and there are still areas to improve. And so you can be the generation that continues on that path.